basically showing them a 1980s way to sell autographs. I will die on a hill with this. This is not the way we sell fucking autographs in this hobby. Period. Clip that. Put that on your fucking shows.
What's going on, sports card hobby friends? Back again. It is another day, another sports card video. We are going to be talking about unauthenticated autograph cards today, the in-person variety. And this is kind of an interesting story. I caught this on the Sports Card Radio live stream last night. Didn't really understand the full story until they started to really kind of dig into it. Essentially what we've got here is Chasing Cardboard folks, Chasing Cardboard YouTube channel, they bought a collection that had autograph cards in them that were not authenticated. And it looks like there was one in particular, a rock autograph card that made it onto eBay for auction. And it's not authenticated. So it's kind of similar to, when I was a kid, I used to send away for autographs. Hi, Jerome Bettis. My name's Dustin. I really enjoy watching you play. Would you sign this card for me? Sent this back. This is a 30-year-old, autograph from Jerome Bettis. I've got a few. Shannon Sharp during his playing days. Dominique Wilkins. This was one of my favorites. Reggie White. Rest in peace. I can't sell these on eBay. I guess technically I could do that, but really the only way that I can feel good about it is if I send it into PSA or BGS, they authenticate it, and then I can feel good about selling it. Because really, I mailed those in the mail. They could have gone to really anybody. It could have been a ghostwriter, a signer. It could have been the mom, the girlfriend, whatever. And so better to have some sort of third-party authentication to take a look at it. I didn't realize until last night watching this that both BGS and PSA will do basically like a quick opinion, for an autograph just with a picture, which surprised me. So I think it's a $10, $15 fee or something to do that. So you send them a picture. I have to assume that they probably err on the side of caution with these. But again, I've never used that service, so I don't know how it works. But you send them the picture of the thing, and they give you kind of a quick opinion for $10 or $15. There's no full guarantee with that, so they're not authenticating. If they say yeah, it's probable that it looks good, they're not offering a guarantee. You still have to send it in, get it slabbed up, and get it looked at in person. And they really shouldn't. A grading company should not offer any sort of a guarantee based on just a picture from the internet. And so the way that this story goes, how it was explained by Sports Card Radio last night, is that the card was put up for auction. It sold for $66, this rock autograph card. And I'll put a picture up just so we can see it. And then the buyer said, hey, I'm just not really sure about this autograph, and then sent over a BGS, kind of one of those quick opinion deals. So then it looks like they took down the auction, or they canceled it, but then they relisted it. Ryan from Sports Card Radio had reached out to them to inquire about it. Then they kind of backpedaled, and it looks like they pulled it down after that. So it's kind of an odd thing, and again, I don't have any sort of other side of the story from the Chasing Cardboard guys. I believe it's Ty. I've seen him on YouTube. I've never met him before. I don't know him. So obviously I have nothing against him. Maybe 99.9% of their business is absolutely perfectly fine, but this is obviously one that they would want back. And the big problem with the listing is in the title, it says rare, and it says on card auto rare, because in reality, The Rock doesn't sign. I'm not a wrestling card expert, but I do know this, is that The Rock does not sign very many autographs. So this is rare if it is real. But that's the problem. It's not authenticated. So if it was real, it would be very rare. And frankly, if it was real, it would not have sold for $66. You can be certain that wrestling card fans that saw that auction, if they thought that it was real, it would not have sold for $66. His autographs sell for hundreds, thousands of dollars when they are authenticated, because there are just very few of them. He does not sign. It's not like Hulk Hogan signs a ton. A lot of these guys sign a lot. The Rock is not one of those guys that does. So yes, this would have been a very rare find. And that's the problem right there, is kind of in the titling. But I think it speaks to just a larger issue that goes back really, I remember this back in the late 80s, 90s when I was a kid. I remember going to the mall card shows where you would have all sorts of autographs. And back then, funny, it's pre-internet, and pre-authentication for the most part. It was literally all of these different certificate of authenticity that people just wrote up and created themselves. So you would be buying from a card show dealer that basically created their own. John Smith, certifies this, and it's like it's like a guaranteed piece of crap. But it's like there is no real authentication. There's like the authenticator was basically the seller, which okay, there's also a bunch of problems with counterfeit autographs going back to the 80s, tons and tons of stuff. There was a great documentary about this. I think it was the FBI called it like Project Bullpen or something like that, where there was a few different guys, maybe it was a couple different guys, but they got really good signing Mickey Mantle autographs.
COA. Oh, I don't like the COA. So let's take a look at this one here. Oh, okay. Here's the problem. No good. And I'll tell you why. This is a classic Operation Bullpen one. Again, we talk with flat mantle. We want to see the E drop down, not the A drop down, which is what you're seeing here. So good version to stay away from. You see how the A drops down right there? The E doesn't drop down? Nope, no good. Run. So how much? They want $4.99 for a bad fake. Wow.
And others as well. But in particular, I remember from the documentary Mickey Mantle autographs, and they were excellent at signing these. You could not tell them apart from a real one. And of course, all this stuff floods out into the universe. And that's really kind of the bigger problem here, especially for serious sports memorabilia autograph collectors that are spending huge money on authentic items like this. When you look at, the latest, the Golden Auctions or the Hakes Auctions or, whoever it is that's selling, Robert Edward Auctions, they are looking for premium stuff. And so this sort of thing, when you're not sure if it's authentic or not, and then there's the quick opinion from Beckett, BGS, and hey, maybe you get a second opinion from PSA. I think Ryan from Sports Card Radio mentioned that. I'll send this picture in a PSA, spend the $15 and see what they think. There's got to be a little bit more of an effort because this stuff really should never be for sale, should never be on the market. It should be sitting in a PC. Like this is never going to hit the market because it's just a card that I sent in unless I get it authenticated. Maybe I'll send it in to PSA, BGS to get that autograph authentication at some point. But that's the type of stuff that just needs to be kept in a personal collection if you're not sure, or destroyed, because there was just so much of this going back to the 80s and the 90s where there was just a lot of, folks signing stuff and then calling it, writing up their own certificate of authenticity. And that's just not good. So I do agree with the Sports Card Radio guys. Maybe this was just an oversight, from the Chasing Cardboard guys. And maybe there will be more to the story. Maybe there will be kind of like another angle to the story that we don't know about. And would be great to hear that if possible. But I think just on the surface, if we're looking at just that listing in particular, that was not good. That's not what we want to see. So for more of the story, I'll put a link to the Sports Card Radio live stream, talking about it through, I think, like the 45-minute to maybe like hour 15 mark of that live stream. They're kind of just going through and throwing in their 2 cents. So definitely check it out. Let me know your thoughts on this because there's a lot of autograph collectors, especially, baseball card collectors that go to shows to meet these guys. I've mentioned Mike Schmidt as an example, but there's so many of these kind of iconic, these legendary baseball players that travel around and do the shows. And there's in-person autographs, obviously authentication on site. It's big business. It's huge business. You think there's a place for this where maybe you get this, buy this and then you go and authenticate it? You're taking on the risk, I guess. You buy it for $50 on eBay and then you take it to go get authenticated. And then it's on you if it's not real or not. I don't know. I think the best way to go about it is just not to sell. Just that's the stuff that'll sit in a PC, or that's just not, we can't sell it because it's not authenticated, or we'll try to authenticate it. If it gets authenticated, awesome, we sell it. If it doesn't, we move on. It's trash. And so maybe we'll get more information, some additional information from the Chasing Cardboard guys at some point to kind of help maybe round this out, provide more context. And if so, we will talk about it at that stage. But until then, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.